Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where your home never needs a thermostat. The temperature is just always exactly right, day and night, summer and winter, without you ever thinking about it. You step outside and the car you get into doesn't need gas, doesn't need charging overnight, doesn't need anything. It just runs, endlessly, on energy nobody has to think twice about. Somewhere, an old gas station sign still says $5 a gallon, kept as a museum piece, just to remind everyone how bad it used to get. At work, factories run around the clock without a single light bill anyone worries about. Desalination plants turn the entire ocean into as much fresh water as anyone could ever want, anywhere on Earth, even in the driest places that used to have none. If a hurricane starts forming, engineers can nudge its path before it ever reaches a coastline. If a region floods, the water gets moved and used somewhere that needs it. Nobody rations electricity, nobody budgets power. The phrase energy crisis doesn't exist anymore because there isn't one. There's more energy available than anyone could use up. This isn't science fiction. This is just what astronomers actually predict a Type 1 civilization would look like. The very first rung on a scale used to measure how advanced a civilization is, not by its culture or its ambitions, but by one plain thing: how much energy it controls. So what does that make us? Using the actual math, a real formula based on real global energy use, humanity today sits at around type 0.7. We're not there yet. Not even close. But the strange part is just how much of that life we can already picture. Here's where the idea actually comes from. In 1964, a Soviet astronomer named Nikolai Kardashev proposed a simple way to rank civilizations, not by intelligence or culture or how many planets they'd reached, but purely by how much energy they could harness and use. He described three levels. Type 1. Civilization uses all the energy available on its home planet, so every bit of sunlight that reaches it, everything stored inside it. A Type 2 civilization goes further, capturing the entire output of its own star. Every single photon it produces. The classic idea for how you'd even do that is called a Dyson sphere, a massive structure proposed by physicist Freeman Dyson in 1960, built to surround a star and collect its light instead of letting almost all of it scatter uselessly into space. A Type 3 civilization is almost too big to picture. It controls the energy of an entire galaxy, billions of stars at once. Later, the astronomer Carl Sagan took Kardashev's idea and made it more precise. Instead of three rigid boxes, Sagan built an actual formula, one that lets you plug in a civilization's real energy use and get back a specific number, a decimal place and all, showing exactly how far along the scale it sits. When you plug in humanity's real, current, global energy consumption, the number that comes out is right around 0.7. Not zero. We're not cavemen rubbing sticks together, but not one either. We're sitting in the strange middle, able to picture what full Type 1 life would feel like without quite being able to build it yet. So what's actually standing in the way? Mostly it comes down to how energy gets made in the first place. Right now, most of the energy humanity uses still comes from burning things. Coal, oil, gas, a genuinely ancient method, when you think about it, not so different in principle from a campfire. That old gas station sign isn't just a joke about prices. It's a museum piece precisely because burning fuel for energy at any price will look primitive by then, the way we now look back at whale oil lamps. Getting to true Type 1 means shifting almost entirely to sources that don't run out and don't run down. Solar power captured at a scale far beyond today's panels. Entire deserts turned into collection fields, or panels in orbit beaming power down where it's needed. Nuclear fusion actually working reliably instead of remaining, as physicists have joked for decades, always 30 years away. Ways to store and move energy across the whole planet without losing huge amounts of it in the process. The way a half-full gas tank quietly loses you range just sitting in traffic. Some scientists who've run the numbers estimate that at humanity's current rate of growth in energy use, we could reach full Type 1 status in another 1 to 200 years. Others think it could take far longer if it happens at all. Since energy use doesn't just grow forever on its own, it depends on choices, priorities, whether the will to build any of this actually exists. And Type 2's an entire star's output, a Dyson sphere actually built star, sits so far beyond that, most estimates put it thousands of years away if humanity ever gets there at all. But here's the part worth sitting with. Every piece of that Type 1 daydream from the beginning, the thermostat that never needs adjusting, the car that never needs a gas station, the ocean turned into fresh water for anyone who needs it. None of it requires new physics, no undiscovered particles. no laws of nature we don't already understand. It's not science fiction in the sense of being impossible. It's engineering and scale and time. We already know how to desalinate water. We already know how solar panels work. We already, technically, know how a Dyson sphere could function on paper. What's missing isn't the science. It's just everything else. The building of it, the choosing to. So maybe the honest way to think about it isn't we're only at zero point 0.7. It's that zero point 0.7 is already remarkable. That a species that started as bands of people around campfires, worried about the next meal, has climbed most of the way toward controlling the energy of an entire planet, and can already picture, in real, specific, physical detail, exactly what the rest of the climb would feel like. Imagine waking up tomorrow in that world. The thermostat that's just always right. The car that never needs the tank filled. And somewhere, behind a pane of glass in a little roadside museum, an old gas pump frozen at $5 a gallon. Not a joke anymore by then, just a strange little artifact from back when the whole world ran on burning things, 1 gallon at a time. We're not there yet, but for the first time we can actually see the pump behind the glass.